Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the Who Dat Nation, man. Appreciate y'all joining me for this episode, Saturday episode of the Coma. We up in this thing. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Much love to the fam. A bit of news right here. I was going to do a broadcast anyway around this time today. Beautiful day outside, man. It's feeling okay. It's a little hot. It ain't that San Diego weather, but we making it down here. So shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. It is an interesting development that's going on with Jimmy Graham. Not all of the facts are there, but based on some of the stuff that's out that they're talking about with Jimmy Graham, TMZ was one that dropped the scoop. They were the major ones that was pushing this story about NFL star tight end Jimmy Graham being arrested. So let me give y'all guys the source of the article, like I like to do. Give y'all the source. Give me a second. Let me dial it up. All right, there we go. And that's from TMZ. That's what they're saying, is that he was arrested. This happened Friday night. We just getting the news now about him being arrested. And pretty much what TMZ is saying is that, let me see if I can scroll on here. They're saying Saints just addressed Graham's arrest, saying the tight end experienced a medical episode Friday night, which resulted in him becoming disorientated. Medical episode. After he was taken into custody, the team said Graham was sent to a nearby hospital to get checked out. And the Saints added Graham likely suffered a seizure and spent the night in the medical facility to receive further testing. He's now back with the team. Says, we broke the story. Graham was arrested for suspicion of being under the influence of a controlled substance and resisting and delaying and obstructing a police officer. So this is what was released, and this just was updated momentarily about what happened with Jimmy Graham. It was they called it a medical episode. A medical episode, which, well, and that's the thing. He said that everything checked out and he's back with the team. So the Saints responded to it, and that's good, because when you're in California, you know what people thinking out there. When you're in Cali, you know what they thinking. You know what I'm saying? But this is positive that Jimmy's all right, that everything is cool, man. So wow. All right. So anyway, shout out to the fam. I appreciate y'all being in the stream. Much love to the fam. As always, we keep it moving. And I don't know why and where that came from with TMZ saying that he was resisting arrest. This is one of the things let me see if I can kind of do that, because they were reporting this. TMZ learned that law enforcement responded to a call for a suspicious person acted erratic near a Southern California resort. At the scene, cops claim, they saying the cops claimed they witnessed Graham walking in the streets and they attempted to arrest him, but he resisted. So this is what TMZ's reporting. The police told them. All right, so they putting it on the cops. And of course, once again, We cleaning it up as they did do an update. At least they updated the information. The Saints suggest Graham's arrest, saying that the tight end experienced medical episode Friday night, which resulted in him being disorientated. After he was taken into custody, the team said Graham was sent to a nearby hospital and checked out. Saints added Graham likely suffered a seizure and spent the night in the facility to receive further testing. Now back with the team. And they said they broke the story. So that's how all of this ended. They're saying that the police were the ones that were kind of giving that information. So now that we're clear, let's keep it pushing. So shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all. Brother Gundam, he says, Big Q, do you think possible blood sugar levels affecting Graham? Sounds like it. I don't know, bro. You know, I'm have to ask Dr. Key on this one, man. Dr. Key, if you in here, man, it's on this one, man. But yeah, this is disorientated, man. You never know, man. I don't know what that could have been with Jimmy Graham, man. I don't know, bro. But I'm just, happy that he is fine now, just to be honest with you. All right. Corvadius says, I've been around family members and coworkers who've had seizures and they never shown this kind of behavior. Yeah, to be and they saying he was resisting arrest and being disorientated, walking around and stuff like that. I don't know. You got two sides of the stories right here, man. So, a medical emergency, I don't know. That's kind of very what is it? What's the word I'm searching for? Help me out, fam. That's a very broad word, a broad term. Medical, what was the proper terminology they used? Medical episode. That could mean anything. Yeah, that could mean anything. It really could. Well, a medical episode could mean anything. Hell, I Google the that could mean anything. And this is, I've Googled, y'all know how I am. I Googled the meaning for the term medical episode just to get some clarity for us in the Who Dat Nation. It says, according to what Google's saying, it's an episode of care, is an instance of treatment of a patient for a specific disease conditioning taking place within a specific period of time. An episode is created from a group of medical and pharmacy claims associated with a condition. Very broad. That can mean anything, couldn't it? Could mean anything, but it means that he's fine right now. So we'll keep monitoring this stuff heading and going forward, fam. So that's the latest on Jimmy Graham. So let me give a shout out to the fam. I appreciate all y'all for being up in here on the stream. We just wanted to cover that bit of news with the Saints stuff. I was going to do a broadcast anyway around this time just to talk at you guys. Yesterday I was real busy, had a very busy day. I couldn't talk at you like I wanted to, but I'm here now, baby. Let me tell you something. I'm here with you. All right, Scoop says basically, what's up, Scoop? He says, so basically a chemical reaction. I don't know, bro. That is a very broad term. A medical emergency could be anything. That is not specific at all. So we don't know what the hell went well, what that could mean, but as long as he's fine, we good. Yeah, I know, Kay, very vague. That's what yeah, that's right. That's right. My boxing expert, Kay, is nailing it. Yeah, she nailed it. All right. 808 Saint says, damn, if he having seizures, can he play on Sunday? That's a great question, bro. I don't know. That's a question. They said that he's back with the team, and I would have to say no to that, right? I would say no to that if he's having seizures like that, where he's disorientated and the cops are misinterpreting his movements as resisting. I don't know. I would say no because of what happened. Seizures ain't nothing to play with. And then you're that close. I would say no, bro. Just in the interest of playing it safe, I would say no to that. That's a tough one. That I will say no to that. Kay says people need to chill out on the assumptions. They jump to conclusions. Well, Kay, you got to understand, baby. You're right. But listen, Kay, he's in California, Kay, Southern California, and he's walking around disorientated. They're going to automatically assume that he got some of that California love out there. You know what I mean? And the kind of stuff that's going on with the distillery and all that kind of stuff. And I don't even think that's Jimmy Graham. But that's where people minds go to when you that's crazy, but that's unfortunate. But he's in Southern California, and you know how some Southern Californians like to get down.
He ain't lying.
So I mean, this is yeah, I know. And you're right, Kate. You're right, baby. But that's how it go. All right, shout out to y'all, man. How everybody doing, man? Let me give me a little quick shout out to all the fam. OG Jared, Poppy 504, Devon, what's happening, brother? Valerie, how you doing, baby? Appreciate you for being here. Once again, shout out to K985J in the building. What's happening, brother? Good to see you. My dog Scoop. What it do, pimping? Corvadius and the rest of the fans, St. Gomer, King Morrison, everybody, man. Appreciate you, brother Edward. How you doing, sir? Everybody, man. Big Smoke Dog in the building. Travis, how you doing? Let's see who else we got. Clarence, how you doing, sir? Appreciate you for being here. Y'all hit the like button for me. Please feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Shout out to Tuck Graph. It says suffered a seizure, get arrested. At least he's okay. Yeah, that is very kind of strange how all of that happened. I mean, how do you misinterpret a medical emergency or medical episode as they called it into him resisting arrest? I don't get that part of the game. Kai, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you, but he's good now, so we don't have to worry about it no more. Jamaica, how you doing, baby? Says I work at Walmart, and when people have seizures, they can be combative and don't remember a thing. All right, thank you, Jamaica. Hemisphere, shout out to you. Good to see you as well. Appreciate you. Haven't seen you in a while, Hemisphere. Hope everything is well with you. Jeremy, shout out to you. Once again, 808 Saint, much love to you. K-Man's in the building. Everybody, man. Mark, how you doing, sir? Appreciate you. BP Johnson, Godson, God Body. Shout out to you as well. Appreciate all y'all, man. L Dub, Jarrell. Will Law, how you doing, sir? Appreciate you, man. All right, big ups to everybody. For Nola Balls, I see you, Nola Balls. Shout out. Gator, how you doing, sir? What's that? Okay, all right. Watching from Denver, born in the Nola. All right, man. We all over the place, ain't we, fam? We all over the planet, baby. All right, so anyway, Jimmy Graham's fine. That's out of the way. He had a medical episode. He wasn't smoking on the California love out there. None of that's going on that we know of. And they had a report out earlier saying that he was resisting arrest. Obviously, that's not true. They revamped or reworked the report and said that he was just having an emergency. He's back with the Saints. Everything's fine. So let's just keep it pushing. All right, Scoop says Q, he fly them planes upside down. Yeah, well, that's interesting, man. That's interesting, the plane thing, man. You know, it's crazy, man. But we good. IK says Sheed. I've seen people with low blood sugar act like Jekyll and Hyde, not remember anybody until they get back together. Okay, good. Yeah, and it's crazy, man. All right, Javier says I'm on that. All right. No, California Live. I said California Love, brother. You got the different stuff there, man. All right. Shout out to Javier, man. Appreciate you, man. You must be doing good. You ain't missed one word of that damn line is misspelled. None of that's misspelled. So yeah, that's amplifying the intelligence, bro. You got the good stuff. Strapped Up says Falcon fan here. I really hope your grand pulls true. Yes, thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Much love to you, of the Falcon family, for showing some love to the Who Dat Nation. You know, even though we banter back and forth at each other for entertainment and stuff like that, but when players start getting banged up or something happens, bro, we kick in right into the effect, man, and be like, yeah, we start praying and making sure these guys are all right. Because after all, it is a game, right, fam? And life is for real. Valerie said they should have moved the game back. And Valerie, you kind of given me a bridge right here, if you will, because that's the next topic that I wanted to go into. She said they should move the game up today, right to today. Yeah, I'm like, why are we playing on Sundays? Can't we get like a Friday or Saturday game? Usually the preseason games are on Saturday. So you move the game ahead or you cancel the game. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but I do have an update on some of that too. Back-to-back game, Raiders versus Rams, Chargers versus Saints, so the weather doesn't ruin the game for tomorrow. It might not be a game, Thank you, Valerie. Shout out to you and appreciate you. Gregory, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you as well. Bo Evans, shout out to you. Appreciate you being here. Y'all hit the like button for me. Scoop says Q may be just 36 and competing, and this is some normal stuff. Yeah, it could be, fam. We don't know exactly what's going on, out there. He didn't do any of this down here, so everybody's different, right? So anyway, let's keep it pushing, man. Let's move on to a couple of the stuff that I wanted to go over with you guys. This is a post that came from Mike Triplett. Mike Triplett is one of my favorite writers, man. I would if I had to make an award and give it to one reporter who asks the best questions and the most questions, it would be Mike Triplett. Mike Triplett is the best. He asks the best questions. he asked the most questions. If you listen to, we played a ton of the Saints press conferences here, and Mike Triplett's always there, and you know he's got a very distinguishable kind of nosily, voice. I can't mimic him. I don't listen to him enough to, but he's a guy that you hear him, you know who he is. Like you hear me, he's like, man, that's Q over there. I heard that guy before. When you start, he said, "Oh yeah, you got a voice that people is very recognizable, and that's Mike Triplett. You hear him. There's only one guy that sound like that. So when I hear him, it's yeah, that's him. But he asks the best questions, man, and the most questions. He's gonna get to the bottom of it. Even when the Saints say, "Okay, give me one more question," Mike gonna get 3 questions out of that one question. So he really good at that. But his tweet says the NFL expected to have another call with the Chargers and Saints, etc., this morning to assess whether the Sunday game will be moved or canceled due to Hurricane Hillary. Hard to imagine to keep the game as planned while the MLB, MLS have already rescheduled theirs among other, precautions. So Mike is landing on the side of caution. Well, you got a hurricane bearing down on the area that's going to be in the area. You either move the game up or you cancel the game or move it somewhere else. So the rest of these leagues have already responded in kind, and the best way to do it is to err on the side of caution, right, family? And that's what they're doing. And shout out to Catherine Terrell, another one of my favorite writers. And what she does, NFL is going to have, and she's basically saying the same thing today regarding the hurricane for the game. Dennis Allen said the same thing, that everyone is safe. So this is more than likely the game is going to be moved, maybe moved or canceled. That's what the rest of the leagues are doing. So, we'll just kind of have to keep that thing moving and keep an eye out on it. So, yeah, but I'm agreeing with Valerie. And a lot of family members like, man, why aren't we having Saturday football, Sunday football for the regular season, Saturday football for the Saints? But I guess it's a scheduling thing, for what was going on. But, everybody's very excited about what went on with the black and gold in terms of the first drive, or I call it the drive that was heard around the world or seen around the world. Every damn body that is anybody is talking about, and even everybody that isn't anybody is talking about the Saints drive with Derek Carr at the top. I was like, damn, nobody talking about nobody else's damn drives. They were the whole damn week they were talking about how good the Saints looked in that first drive, and they were looking forward to seeing if we would have more of that in the second game. So, we'll see, but we might not even have a second game. We'll wait and see exactly where everything is and keep it going. So yeah, a West Coast hurricane going to Los Angeles, a very rare thing, right? So I would definitely like to kind of trade with Los Angeles, the city of New Orleans. We can kind of trade locations. Y'all can get a little bit of this down here because, and we can get a little bit of that. We rarely get the hurricanes, but then again, I have to pause myself on that and stop right there because let me be honest with you, the ground get to shaking and moving up there, and we don't play that down here. You see what I'm saying? So if it came between the two, if you say, Q, how about them hurricanes or how you like them earthquakes? I would have to definitely say none of them. But if you force me to take one, I have to take the hurricanes over the earthquakes because the obvious fact that I can prepare and move further inland if we got a nasty one like we dealt with Katrina and several others since then. I can't play with the California people with the earthquakes. So y'all, matter of fact, let's just cancel that deal. Y'all can keep what y'all got, and we got because everybody got something, you know what I'm saying? So at least ours, we can be able to move because we see them coming. They got to come all the way from off the coast of Africa to get here, or they spawn at the bottom, near the bottom of the Caribbean, or we'll have an opportunity to kind of get away. So you know what? I'm gonna rock with the hot temperatures I got, and I'm gonna kind of keep that there. We're gonna keep them there hurricanes. Okay, that's what we're gonna do there. So shout out to the fam. All right, let's right. That's what I'm saying. I done basically reneged, man. I'm like, man, I'm gonna change up on that, man. I'm gonna back up off that. I thought I was about to say something smart, man. I gotta back up off that one right quick. Shout out, thank you, Brian. Shout out to you for the Cash App. Much love to brother Brian. Appreciate you, man, with the Cash App, sir. Much love. He says, okay, for the coma. All right, thank you, sir. Much love to brother Brian. Thank you, man. Appreciate the Cash App, sir. Much love to you. All right, man. Anyway, let's keep it going, fam. Okay, brother Kyle T. Shout out to brother Kyle T. Mosley, man. Brother Kyle is listening. He just gave me a scoop straight from Kyle T. Mosley, good brother and the chief editor at Saints News Network. He just texted me and said the game is still scheduled. Okay, thank you, brother Kyle. Much love to you, bro. Appreciate you. Much love. All right, so straight from brother Kyle, he said the game is still on right now. So we'll see. All right, shout out to the fam. Y'all getting the breaking news here, brothers. You know, sisters. Y'all get. All right, anyway, yeah, Kyle, shout out to brother Kyle, man. Much love to my brother. All right, so anyway, fam, let's keep it pushing. So the good news on Jimmy, good news on the game, and everything is just keeping moving and going and popping and snapping. All this. Okay, thank you, brother Kyle. All right, so yeah, that's good news, man. So anyway, Jay Sticks, Jefferson, the rest of the fam, appreciate y'all. Let's keep it going. Now, fam, I'm gonna place. I know I don't know if all of you guys have seen some of the footage from the training camp the other day, but I really liked what the, the energy the Saints are showing and during the preseason. I'm really liking. And listen, fam, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm not backing down off of what I said, but I've been one of the harshest, if not the harshest critic of the Saints and what they've been doing with Dennis Allen, especially last year. And I don't remove my harshness because that is proper for the time frame in which it was dealing with. Because what we went through last year, it was not a good thing. It wasn't all injuries, and people are already just by default, just like Kay was talking about when people kind of do their thing where they'll automatically thought that Jimmy Graham was on that California love, right? They just jump to it. It's the same similar thought process when we talk about the Saints doing stuff like when they failed last year. Oh, it was them injuries. Absolutely. Injuries were a part of it, but we can't forget about bad personnel decisions, bad calls on the field, slow adjustments. Not when you got injuries that's popping in, and you got a starter or a guy that's valuable, you don't turn around and go to the free agency list and pick up an undrafted guy, a soup can from somewhere. They don't even have a pitcher, and then put them on the bottom of the practice squad and don't do nothing to address it. That I'm saying proactive moves. If you have injuries, you got to get out there to free agency and get some of the best players that you can afford. You got to go and shake and bake. And the Saints learn from that. Saints sitting on what is it right now? About $11 million in cap right now. And they got this team that they currently have. They got $11 million in cap. So they're braced financially speaking if they go into the season and they have to make a move in free agency. Notice what they were doing in terms of signing free agents. We didn't go all the way down to Canada somewhere and pick up a guy that was a special teamer in Canada. That we aren't doing that. We had Kareem Hunt in here. We had Anthony Barr in here. These are very productive young. Well, Barr is a little older, but still a very good linebacker. We brought in here. Then he goes somewhere else. The other guy goes somewhere else. We bring in and we get Darrell Williams and brings him here. He's a solid back for what we need him to do. Very good young running back. Was very productive with Kansas City. And then we turn around and pick up your boy Smith from the Cowboys and the Giants. And this guy is a multiple Pro Bowler, been in the league. So you can see it's a shift in direction. So the Saints have the money now, and they are bringing in veteran players that can help us win now. Now, not 2 years from now. We need you to help now. So when I say my harshest critiques or whatever about Dennis Allen last year, it was talking about the energy level, the fact that he wasn't motivating these players. He basically had a major hand in what happened with the quarterback situation. Could have had change. There was strife there that didn't have to be. So all this stuff happened last year, plus the overall low intelligence of what was going on the field in terms of our offense with the pre-snap penalties and all this kind of shenanigans, right? All that played a part in it. So I think about all that as well as the injuries. This year, the energy right now, and of course, this is off season now, and it was a similar energy last year. Maybe this was ratcheted up 3 more degrees because of the money we spent on Derek Carr, is that he's coming in. And plus the fact that the Saints have added guys like John Gruden that came and hit a little time he did to kind of help out there. And then they got Leroy Glover here. They bring Jari Evans to help out the offensive line. And you got all this other stuff going on, right? Dennis got his own guys in there. And then Dennis looks differently. His aura is different. He's relaxed. He's smiling. He's cordial. You see, and everything's different. So I'm like, okay, I'm noticing that, but I'm still apprehensive, family, because I want to see if they can carry that from preseason to regular season. We didn't do that last year, not in full. So I want to see if we can carry that into the on season, off the on. I want to see if we can do that. And I do really think the Saints have something here. Really do. And I know a lot of the Who Dat Nation is just like me. They're apprehensive. They on they Glenn Jones game right now. So they on that Glenn Jones, They on their Glenn Jones game, They busting out with the they doing that, So I get that and I understand that because you got a coach that never won anything at a head coach level, defensive coordinator. That's a whole nother thing. But we on our Glenn Jones. You got to show me. But I am definitely, let me tell you this much. I am definitely really feeling the agreeable energy that every one of the Saints players are doing. Plus the practice stuff that's feeling really good. God, son, God, body. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you kindly for that. All right. Yeah, we on our Glenn Jones game, that's what it is. But listen, I'm not blind, family, to the energy that I see the Saints coming in here with. I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you something. Yeah, Q, let me tell you, you're a true skeptic over there. Let me tell you. Tell you this, and we be doing something over here. You see all that money we got? Yeah, Mickey, I see all that money you got. Oh, yeah. Well, you like Derek Carr? Yeah, Mick, he's doing pretty good. You're pretty slick on that, Slick Mickey. Yeah, you're doing good. You like Jamal Williams. I heard you talk about Jamal. Yeah, I like Jamal Williams too. Yeah. Oh, Michael Thomas. I want to tell you something. Yeah, you like how I worked that deal? Mickey, you the man, brother. You the man. Let's just see what happens with the team. But I'm feeling pretty big, pretty good about them, man. The energy around the team is good. And we all right. So we doing pretty good, man. But listen, this is some of the stuff that we were seeing in some of the training happen with the Chargers. And listen, Carr, how he was doing, him throwing to Michael Thomas. And I love these scrimmages because it gives us an ability to kind of look to and see, them go against other teams and experience. And the Chargers have a good team. And they were going back and forth. The Saints got the Chargers. Herbert is going to be a very good quarterback for them. Keenan Allen is healthy for them. He's a big wide receiver. I think he's their best guy, their best wide receiver, very productive guy. He was dealing with some injuries. Austin Eckler is a very good running back. And the Saints were going back and forth with these guys in here, but it's good to see that happening with the Saints and the Chargers. And, of course, the last preseason game will be the Saints and the Texans with DeMeco Ryans taking over that team. And that'll be fun, too, watching them scrimmage there as well. So a lot of good plays back and forth between the teams to be excited about. I like the Michael Thomas touchdown that happened. That was pretty good, too. How you doing, Sandy? Shout out to you. So it was pretty positive watching what was going on in California. I was listening to the interviews from Cam and what he was saying, and they were all very popping and positive, man. So, yes, this is very, very positive, fam, to all my Who Dat family members out there. Listen, the Saints look good in camp. The energy's there. The Saints making moves to do certain things, like when they got Jalen Smith here. Demario Davis had a calf issue. They kind of shut him down, even though they said it was nothing serious, and they immediately moved to get Jalen Smith to fill in. That helped us out big time because it provides he's the second most experienced linebacker we have here, fam. Outside of Demario's, of course, number one, Jalen Smith's number two. And then if you see Pete Werner, who's a starter, he's there. And then you have other guys like Zach Bond and a bunch of youngsters who are on the team. So you got to give them respect for that and all of the things that we see. It's a very unique feel that's going on with the black and gold, even so much so that you look around to people like in the national media. I'm gonna play something for you guys just one, because there's several I could play, but I'm gonna just play one. I ain't gonna try to kind of bog down your time, but what's interesting is you hear what they're saying, and they're bought in on the Saints. You know, I don't know if I remember or I recollect in my mind, in my black and gold mind, over the last at least 12 years, right? Of just paying attention. You know, of course, I'm 30 plus years as a black and gold man, but just going over the last 12 years, I don't remember one time when the national media and the Who Dat Nation went crazy over one drive. It's like, that drive that against the Chargers, against the Chiefs, I'm sorry, in last week's preseason matchup, how everybody was talking about that. Everybody was talking about, the Who Dats were talking, the national media were going bonkers over that drive, that the Derek Carr drive, and then culminating with the touchdown in the back of the end zone, the corner of the end zone to Keith Kirkwood. They were going crazy over that. Like, oh man, the Saints. Of course, the rest of our NFC South brethren didn't like that, but what's good for some may not be good for others. Our success is not good for the Falcons. It's not good for the Panthers. It's not good for the Bucks, but it's great for us. Because if you make the right moves, you get the success. So anyway, that was a very popping drive, man. Let me tell you something. Everybody was excited about that drive. Did you see that drive? Like, yeah, I seen it. Yeah, man, we ready. I was like, okay, right, all right, settle loud. Don't bust, don't bust the gut. We good, we good. Let's see if we can do more of that. Let's see if we can expound on that. Is what I'm talking about. So very popping. All right. So anyway, that's some of the stuff right there from them. All right. Shout out to my boy Kyle, man. Much love to brother Kyle T. Mosley, man. Appreciate the update, sir. Much love to you, sir. Appreciate you kindly. All right. So anyway, let's go to this next one. And y'all tell me if y'all can hear this one. This is Dan Orlovsky. Got his name right. I had problems with that one. But Dan Orlovsky is going to give you his top 5 picks, Super Bowl sleepers now. National media, they're going to give you their top 5 picks. Here we go.
Eyes. I'm not going to do like your 5 favorite Super Bowl. Like that would be small-minded. That would be lacking type of work ethic. Someone else with 3 initials that represent their name might have done that. I'm going to do something a little bit more. So number 5, we're going to go to the hometown team, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are going to have a top 5 offensive line, a budding star in Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff is going to play top 10 quarterback level-wise. Aiden Hutchinson is an absolute problem out on the edge. Remade secondary. I think this is a team that legitimately can contend to get to the NFC Super Bowl and certainly NFC Championship and certainly the Super Bowl.
All right, let me stop right there. Let me comment on Dan Orlovsky's list. The Lions, a lot of people are picking the Lions to make a leap. A lot of people are. They're very excited about the Detroit Lions. And I think it's really is Campbell, right? He's since he's left, remember he left, he took Aaron Glenn and he went up there, and that's a New Orleans thing right there. So that's our former coaches going elsewhere and having success, right? Doing things and helping the people win. He's a guy has brung his toughness. He was always a smart coach and a likable dude. He went up there and he really kind of turned it on for them. And yeah, I'm excited about Detroit. I'm gonna keep it $1.15, which I think the Lions, all of the stuff that they've been going through, all of the suffering they've been having, man, I think eventually Coach Matt got them on the right level, man. You should see some success for the Detroit Lions, man, into the season. If not, of course, against us, we're going to shut all that down. But if against anybody else, man, we rooting for you.
Okay, number 4. This one's going to be a little controversial because of the quarterback, but the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson, are you going to be the Russell Wilson that we saw for most of your career with the Seattle Seahawks, but talented with Dolchik at tight end, Cortland Sutton at wide receiver, KJ Hamler at wide receiver? They got a ton of young players on the defensive side of football. If Sean Payton gets Russell Wilson back to his level, they're absolutely Super Bowl contenders. Number 3, Molly, who's your favorite football team?
All right, so let's stop it right there. Once again, we got the Broncos. This is Orlovsky's picks. The Broncos, that's Sean Payton running that team right now. So you got Campbell at the Lions, former Saint. You got the guy that started it all in the Bronco land. So 2 of the so-called the 5 right now are Saint influenced teams. So you getting the theme right here. So anyway, the comment on the Broncos thing, Coach Payton picked the Broncos. Really, he was looking, reports had him going to Arizona. And what I think happened, baby, let me tell you what I think. What ended up happening, was Sean Payton got there. He met with Bidwell, and then he asked him about the coaching situation that was going on with the quarterback there, Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray's not supposed to be ready until into the regular season. So I think that influenced Coach Payton's decision to where he was going to go, even though a lot of people thought he was going to Denver, but he really was interested in Arizona. Now, had Kyler Murray been 100% healthy, I really do think that Coach Payton would have went to Arizona. But it's cool. He's in Denver. That's fine. You know, everything's fine. We good with that. And listen, Russell Wilson, man, Russell Wilson's Sean Payton perfect for Russell Wilson. The only problem with Russell Wilson is he confident? You know, his confidence last year wasn't there. You know, he was just looking awful out there. Can Coach Payton get him to play with confidence and kind of get that system to wrap around him? And if he can, the Broncos are going to go back up. So, you know, 2 Saint impacted teams in the Lions and the Broncos. Here we go.
New York Football Giants.
The New York Football Giants with Brian Dable and Mike Kafka worked wonders with Daniel Jones last year. Then they drafted
Okay, Harry, don't side on me
at wide
like that ever
receiver,
again.
speed down the field. They go get Darren Waller at wide receiver, Thibodeau at the defensive end. They still have Saquon Barkley because of genius work at the contract position. Dexter Lawrence. I think Daniel Jones is going to play another good season for them because how good they're talented their defense is.
I don't know about the Giants, and I do like Brian Dable, their head coach. I think he's a smart, fiery guy, and anytime you can get the Giants haven't won in a while, and turn them around, it'll be to see if he can do that in the second year when people are actually looking at him and saying, okay, this team was good. Can they make a step? We'll see, man. We'll see. Greg says if you look at Cards games versus Chargers, he's very familiar with what they do on that side of the ball. That gives him and other members of the offense more confidence. 10-year veteran quarterback, 10-year quarterback. Seeing a lot, fam. The man's seeing a lot. And that's the thing when you talk about with him and you look at his statistics. And even though a lot of people look past Carr, and I use the Matt Stafford analogy. Y'all know I talk about this, you know, the same. I don't think Stafford and him are the same because Stafford's numbers, he's been in the league longer, and his numbers are more gaudy. In terms of Carr, but I'm saying the similarities between the two is you take Stafford and move him out of Detroit into the Los Angeles Rams, and then he has a playoff berth, and then the next year I think they go to the Super Bowl and win it. So this is a leap for Carr. Like when you take Carr out of a bad situation, no disrespect to the Raider Nation, man, y'all know what y'all working with up there. You move him out of Raiderland and put him with the Saints, and then the Saints have everything. I mean, they have everything that you could buy. A healthy Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams with a chip on his shoulder, who felt disrespected. He should have got money from the Lions last year and whatnot. They let him go. Saints got him. Shout out to the Saints for that. Saints had a really good draft this year to add to what they have, plus all of the wide receivers that we have. The top 3, and then the guys underneath like A.T. Perry and whoever else gonna, you know what I'm saying? The tight end runner is ridiculous with Taysom and Jimmy and the NFL's best kept secret in Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau's there. Everything. The Saints brought back the offensive line last year, but for continuity purposes, they got to improve upon the depth of the offensive line this year. But outside of that, when you talk about skill positions, the Saints are fully loaded, and you got Carr with a chip on his shoulder, Mike Thomas with a chip on his shoulder, everybody with a chip on their shoulder. Kay got a chip on his shoulder. Kyle got a chip on his shoulder. I got a chip on my shoulder. Trent got a chip. Every damn body. Jerry, Scoob, everybody got chips on their shoulders. Everybody got chips on their shoulders. And when you see stuff like that, usually stuff start popping and snapping, fam. Let me get you.
I'm going to say the New York Giants. Number 2, I'm saying this for Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark, the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints still have a lockdown defense, and Derek Carr seems to be in a great place with Michael Thomas. Now, if Michael Thomas stays healthy, we got Michael Thomas, we got Chris Olave, we've got Rashid Shaheed, we got Jawan Johnson, we got Alvin Kamara, and Tyrann Mathieu, and Marshawn Lattimore, and Cam Jordan, who did to get up on the ground in the preseason game the other day. Number 2. And number 1, this may not be that shot.
Okay, we don't care about number 1. You can forget about that. But let me just say this. The Saints picked up, and that's his sneaky Super Bowl threats. You got the Jaguars there. So the top team in the NFC in terms of sneaky Super Bowl threats, Saints, Giants, Broncos, Lions, Jags on the top of his pick. But anyway, the Saints, you heard what he said about everything. He said basically everything I said about the offensive skills of the wide receiver, running back, tight end, everything. Everything. And not only just that, the components that were added to the defense, the defensive interior line was issues. The Saints got a whole new interior. You know, Saunders, Shepard, and then they have Brian Brees. They added him there and then signed Malcolm Roach back, and they have guys that could possibly push Roach. We'll see. That's there. Like we see Heflin doing some very positive things. I think Jaron Cage needs to step his game up, but Heflin's been doing really good. Could he force himself into the rotation? Passanio, who's been playing just as an edge guy. I thought the Saints and was speaking to kind of using Tanu Passanio as an interior guy from time, and they do that from time to time, and they still going to do it. Right now, they operating from the edge, and Passanio is tearing it up, man. He's tearing it up. So you got Peyton Turner, Carl Granderson, Passanio. Those guys look really good. And then, you know, of course, Isaiah Foskey's still learning, but that's fine. As long as you got guys like that picking it up, I'm pretty sure Foskey will pick it up later on too. So we're going to be good there. So anyway, the interior of the Saints defensive line that allowed so much to happen that was negatively last year, the Saints have improved upon it this year. Plus, we got a new defensive line coach. There's a new defensive coordinator there, and Joe Woods, who everybody loves. His specialty is the secondary, which is very deep. Marcus Robinson, the secondary coach, is there teaching the safeties. So overall, the whole feel of the defense from the field on up to the administrators are all very positive, and everybody's looking at it and saying, hey, man, we got success coming. We built this team right. We still got money left on the cap. If we need to make adjustments in free agency, if somebody gets hurt, we can go out and get a quality veteran to bring in here to help us out. So all of that is very powerful and popular with me. All of that is and that is how you start building things. And it's more of a proactive vibe going on. Like if something happens, the Saints go there and they fix it right away, as opposed to, we're going to be all right. They're not leaving anything to chance. They're taking destiny into their own hands and they're pushing it through the win. So that's what I'm talking about. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button for me, fam. 200 plus in the building. All right. Sandy says she got a chip too. Shout out to you, Sandy. Appreciate you. Yeah, we all got chips. We all chips. It's nothing but a ruffle factory around here. Let me tell you something. Scoop says, Q, can we give some love to Coach Hodges? Yeah, the linebacker coach. That's right. His linebacker stayed progressing. Yo, shout out to him. Thank you, Scoop. Yeah, Coach Hodges has done a fantastic job, man. And then on top of that, all of the kind of the changing of everything that had been happening with the team, you know, like new defensive coordinator, new defensive line coach, a new secondary coach, new assistants all over the place. So you're looking at it and you're saying, damn, this is a lot of change. But what didn't change was the fact that Michael Hodges, who's the linebacker coach, is still there holding it down. So a lot of change on defense, but he is still there. So yeah, thank you, School, for kind of putting that out there, man, because that is very true, man. Without Michael Hodges, man, he stepped up and took that job. He's been phenomenal since Sean Payton put him in the game. So, all right. So anyway, with that being said, man, let's keep it pushing. Fam, listen, y'all comment in the comment. Let me know if y'all got any questions. I'll do my best to do it. Y'all hit me. Y'all put yeah. Travis says, not to mention we got Chucky over here with that's right. Yeah, Chucky and all of them. Yes, indeed. All right, fam, if y'all got any questions, man, y'all feel free to throw them in the chat right quick as like we approach an hour. I'm not going to keep you guys for very long. Y'all please feel free to do it. Nolans 504, shout out to you. Much love. That's right. That yeah, Mickey said that's that Mickey acknowledgement, man. Mickey said we doing good over here. Yeah, oh yeah, you guys are doing good, man. Let me tell you something. Yeah, oh yeah. Thank you, Mickey. Say Mickey he letting you know he keeping it $1.15 with us over here at the Great Saint Think Tank, man. Much love. All right, Brother Thomas says, Q, what's up, Brother Thomas? He says, Q, do you think Dennis Allen going to make the right cuts? Oh, man, bro. Yeah, man. That's what I was saying. Like, okay, remember and I got a good memory. So I remember last year, like before all of this happened, I was like, man, you know, getting down to the 53, getting the correct 53, because there were some that was just like, very elementary, very easy decisions to make. And then there were others where you have players that were on the line that should have made the team that didn't make the team that ended up on the practice squad. And like I always talk about these two guys. One was Kirk Merritt, who was playing running back and wide receiver first. And then they say, well, let me see if you can play running back. Then they put him at running back. He had success. Last year during the training camp, mini camp, training camp, preseason, Kirk Merritt was showing out. He was consistent. And then there was another guy, Eric Wilson. We picked up Eric Wilson from the Minnesota Vikings. He came in here cheap, very cheap. When he got in there, Eric Wilson looked like a perfect fit for the Saints defense. Looked like he was there the whole time. Perfect fit for the Saints defense. He was out there making plays, flying around. Look, his energy level was there. Like I call him little Cam, because he had the same energy Cam had. Like Cam is kind of throw it off. Cam got them big eyes and they bucking. If some reporter asks him a question, he don't gently turns his head to the reporter. Everything is snap and energy. Like Cam is a ball of energy. His eyes stay bucking, and somebody asks him a question, his head snaps to wherever they are. You know what I'm saying? And he's that's how Cam is. He's a high energy guy. Well, Eric Wilson was very similar to that type of energy. They play the game almost like with a child's energy. You know what I'm saying? Like a free flowing, fun, vibracious energy. That's how Eric Wilson played the game, just like Cam did. He was a perfect fit there. Well, what happened with both these gentlemen? When they got to the regular season and it was time to make the cut to pick up who's to be the top 53 guys, those guys did not make the team, even despite the fact that they were playing much better than their counterparts. They were out there making plays, and customarily, when guys show up in training camp consistently and they flash and they show you and the coaching staff that they know what they're doing, they're supposed to make the team, especially if they're outplaying other guys around them. They're supposed to make the team. That's how it's supposed to go. Hey, you come here, you show up, you execute, you shine above the rest of the guys in your group, you will make the team. Didn't happen last year. Dennis Allen chose to go in a different direction. Instead of putting Kirk Merritt on the team, it gives him some versatility, because Kirk Merritt can also help in the special team game. We're returning. He also plays wide receiver and running back, so he gives you all of this versatility. You know who they chose to go with? Traquan Smith. And Traquan Smith wasn't doing anything in preseason last year. I remember him dropping a touchdown pass in preseason. That's enough to get you, and most of the times that's enough to get you up out of here. He most certainly wasn't flashing in training camp. He looked as normal as it get, and that other man outperformed him. He made the team. Kirk Merritt hit the practice squad. And it comes down to Eric Wilson, a linebacker. Eric Wilson outperformed everybody not named Demario Davis and Pete Werner. Even gave Pete a run for his money. Should have been a third linebacker there. He met with the practice squad, and the Saints put Zach Bowen ahead of him. Now, Zach Bowen was banged up during the training camp, I won't say preseason last year, and wasn't even close to what Eric Wilson did. But guess what? Both Kirk Merritt and Eric Wilson ended up on the practice squad, while Traquan Smith and Zach Bowen ended up on the active roster. How do you define that? Both of them are former third-round draft picks. The Saints hopefully feel like they can finally catch fire and make them look a little better for picking those gentlemen. I don't know. But in the end, that's not how it's supposed to go. And that was Dennis Allen's first time being the head coach again with the Saints, previously with the Raiders, his first time back in 10+ years. And he made that decision. Well, in the end, hopefully we have better decision. Well, he has better decisions, because I would have put Zach Bowen in the street. I'm sorry. I would have put both Traquan Smith and Zach Bowen on the practice squad, because the practice squad didn't need practice. There ain't nobody else I know need more practice than both of those guys. They need as much practice as you can get. They should have both been on the damn practice squad. So anyway, will he make those type of decisions this upcoming year? I don't know, bro. That's what I'm waiting for to see. So in a couple of weeks, we'll figure out exactly what's going on here. And, hopefully he does. Hopefully he'll get counsel from guys and I think what makes Dennis Allen a better coach, let me say this too, because I was talking about him. How did he improve as a coach? Meaning, did he learn anything? He never talks about that. He always mentioned it in terms of we. No, no, no. You're the head coach. You. What did you do? Did you go out and read something? Did you go attend some leadership councils or seminars? None of that. No, what I noticed from what Dennis Allen did do is that he hired people he trusts. And you can see him having more of a leisurely stroll and energy about him because Dennis hired Joe Woods to run the defense. So everybody reports to Joe Woods. And if Dennis Allen says something, Joe Woods goes and repeat it to him. And it's a different energy. The offense is different. He gave the offense, and him and Mickey gave the offense everything that they needed: a quarterback with a deep arm, leadership ability, 10 years worth of experience. They gave him a top-notch running back for basically, I ain't gonna call it pennies, but you paid $12 million for 3 years for Jamal Williams, who can start right now for other teams. And you pair him with Alvin Kamara, and their character types, how fun-loving these guys are and how professional they are. It's insane that we have those guys together. And Alvin comes through his 3 games. We'll have Jamal Williams there. Kendre Miller is there as well. So the Saints have a lot of positive stuff going. So then you bring Coach Chucky in, like one of the family members mentioned twice, to come in and help out, get it down, whatever else. So, man, listen, they've spared no expenses in doing that. And I can really see what Dennis Allen kind of, wherever his pitfalls at in terms of his leadership, him relying more, talking to his coaches around him, put more, onuses on that. And then the offense, this offense is so loaded, I don't know what to say. It's like you just marvel at what they could possibly be. So when you seen that first drive against the Chiefs, people's like, wow, could this be just a small sample size serving of how good the Saints offense can be? If the Saints offense click like we think they should click, because it's still very much new, fam, this should be a top 3 offense, hands down. With everything that you got, a healthy Michael Thomas, a chip on the shoulder Michael Thomas, and Derek Carr and everybody, this should be a top 3 offense off the TOP, no doubt about it, baby. Let me tell you something. Are you with me on that, baby? Are you with me? All right. So anyway, let's keep it going, fam. Let me get a couple of questions in for the family members. Let me see here, because I had to go off on that right quick. What's up, Slim? Shout out to my dog, Slim, man. KK, how you doing, baby? Appreciate KK in the building. Tuck, what's up? She said, is Gruden on the sidelines during the preseason games, or is that just practice? From what we know, I think it's just practice of what they're saying about it. But yeah, that's pretty much what we've. And listen, I did a video about it, family. I kind of talked about it. I said it's kind of played the theme to the Transformers from the 80s. Transformers, more than meets the eye, that type of thing. And my thing was, I kind of applied that to the Saints situation, because Gruden snuck in here the first time around. He was so, sneaky. He got in here the first time. Nobody got pictures, and we ain't know nothing until after the fact, he was gone. This time around, he comes in, right? And they put him away from the reporters, and the reporters can't get to him to ask him questions. I know they wanted to, but the Saints kept him away from the reporters. So they kind of kept him away from the reporters. So that was kind of interesting and all together. So the Saints didn't really want your ass talking to him, going down and having a discussion with the old Gruden on anything. That's how I seen it. So I was like, okay, wow, what the hell does all that mean? So, hey man, all I can say is, I think what happens right now, you got John Gruden, he got his case against the NFL, and that takes presence. And we won't know for sure if there's a long range game plan that's happening between the Saints and John Gruden, because John Gruden ain't going nowhere else, go and talk to nobody else. You see what I'm saying, fam? I don't see him go and speak with anybody else, about, how y'all doing? Y'all need some help over here, I don't see none of that going on. You get me? I'm sorry. I don't see none of that going on. But listen, give me just a second. Give me a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play for you, because that's one of the things that I wanted to kind of actually play for today. So I appreciate you, Tuck Graff, putting that up there, because I was going to play this today and I forgot to put it up there. So I'm going to play this from Rich Eisen. I'm going to play this from Rich Eisen. Give me a second. Let me get it tuned up for the fam. I'm going to play this little bit for Rich Eisen. And hold on here. Give me just a second. Let me get it straight. And this is a snippet from his show where he kind of goes and he has a guy that's there that's talking about the John Gruden case. And I know probably some of y'all probably seen this, but let me play this for those who probably didn't see this clip right here. And it's basically going to talk about what John Gruden, what his case could mean to the NFL. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear this. Okay, here we go.
With Gruden, what can you tell me what's going on there?
The Gruden story is really, I think, the biggest concern among the owners right now, because Gruden has said that he is not going to settle. So it's now in the Nevada Supreme Court, the lawsuit that John Gruden filed against the NFL and against Roger Goodell, alleging that they leaked those emails that cost him his job and his career. And Gruden has told people that he will burn the house down. He'll burn the NFL down to get the truth. And my sense, since our story, that we did with Seth Wickersham, my colleague at ESPN, I've talked to people around Gruden, close to Gruden, and he is all in to get the truth. So if the Nevada Supreme Court rules in his favor, there will be discovery. And that discovery means that Gruden's attorneys can subpoena Roger Goodell, every single owner if they want to try to find out if the NFL did, in fact, leak those emails that cost Gruden his job.
When does that ruling in the Nevada
expected in October? Expected in just a couple of months. But I know from talking to people around the league, owners and executives, they're very, very concerned about it. Because Gruden is very, very upset. He wants the truth. He said no number on a check will satisfy him. And he wants his career back. I think he wants to coach again. As you know, he's working with the Saints.
Yeah, I know. He's been at the Saints training camp, but I imagine, doesn't the NFL, with Discovery, not everything is going to be great for John Gruden to come out, right? And if he burns the NFL's house down, which owner is going to say, "Oh, yeah, we'll hire you and put you on the sideline"?
Gail Benson.
That's great. That's a great question.
So
the other issue too, Rich, is the 650,000 emails that were amassed, those Bruce Allen emails as part of the Wilkinson investigation. And the worry is that discovery will lead to those emails as well coming out.
Yeah.
And we've heard from people around the league, there's all sorts of other dirty laundry hidden in those emails about all sorts of people around the NFL. So the NFL is in a defensive crouch, very, very concerned about the lawsuit. And it's the ball's in the court, the Nevada Supreme Court's.
And Gruden is just still angry about everything else that
extremely
happened.
Angry.
What do you think happened?
Well, our story laid out, I think, a pretty compelling case that there were a number of groups that had access to the emails and were involved in the leaking. We reported that DeMaurice Smith, the outgoing, now the ex-head of the National Football League Players Association, had gotten a copy of that first email and bragged that he leaked it to the Wall Street Journal. That second set of emails to the New York Times, Rich, I believe that the league had something to do with it. That's what our reporting showed. Rock Nation, our reporting showed, people told us was also involved. Desiree Perez, the CEO there. Yeah, that was reported in our story last month where we laid it all out. I think that everybody had a motive to leak it. And I think we laid who had access to it. We went into, and you and I talked about it when I was on your show just a couple of weeks ago when I was on the phone. There's a lot of animosity between Roger Goodell and John Gruden. Certainly in John Gruden's mind, he was running around, telling people, I'm the head of the Roger Goodell club. And, his lawyers believe that got back to Goodell, and that was a motive for Goodell greenlighting the leak.
It's just like, I just hear something like that, and I'm just like, the commissioner's got so many other fish to fry. Like he's hearing John Gruden's bad mouth, and that might just, he would laugh that off, not like say, let's do something that could potentially be blow up in our faces here, and like, that's the thing I don't understand. If the NFL leaked it, then this is something that the NFL doesn't want discussed that an executive and a coach is actually saying these sorts of things? I mean,
that's what the NFL has said in court. You're hitting right on a really important point.
Right.
Is the NFL has said in court, we had no incentive to do this. This was going to be disruptive to a season that was going along great. And, and actually what happened was once those emails were leaked, and it was this, huge controversy all over again. It reminded everybody of Dan Snyder all over again. And just a week later, Congress opened up that investigation, that wide-ranging investigation that subpoenaed Dan Snyder. Remember when he was on his super yacht running around the Mediterranean and avoiding a subpoena? Roger Goodell had to subpoena. It wasn't just an investigation of Dan Snyder and the Washington Commanders. It was an investigation of the NFL. So the consequences of those leaks were very, very dire. They led, I believe, to Snyder eventually having to sell the team.
Well, and again, I know we discussed this the last time you were on, but it's true that Snyder called Gruden fat, and that's
right, bro. It ain't even match.
Genesis of the spat between these two men that led to potentially all of this stuff.
Yeah, they didn't like each other. And then there was this one incident in our story.
A lot of people don't like Dan Snyder.
Yeah,
it seems like there's a lot of folks. But okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but absolutely right. It was. They were back and forth one night in a restaurant. Gruden has told people that Snyder was quite drunk.
Yeah,
and they got into it. And you're fat. Snyder said, Gruden, you're fat. And Gruden said, I'll dribble your head like a basketball. And it was just ugly language. And so from Gruden's perspective and his camp's perspective, they're thinking, okay, this is another reason, another motivation that Snyder had for initially looking at these racist, misogynistic emails that Gruden wrote years ago when he was an announcer at ESPN, and said, let's get him out there. Let's get rid of this guy. And from the perspective of the Gruden camp, they believe Goodell also had a similar motive, that Snyder and Goodell looked at Gruden the same way and helped push these emails out to get rid of Gruden.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show.
Wow. Now, I knew something about the case, fam, but listen, I didn't know all of that. So John Gruden wants to burn the house down, and the Saints have him in the building. To me, that boy, that was a lot right there. That was some game right there. But listen, fam, this and John Gruden, according to the reporter, was saying that John Gruden was saying that he's the president of the the Goodell convention or the group or whatever he called it. That's crazy. And that's so strange because I thought that was me. I thought I was the president. I guess I'm the vice president now. If Coach Chucky's saying that he's the president of the Goodell committee, I thought I was the guy. I thought that was me. Sheesh. How you find out? You find stuff new every day, don't you, family? I thought that was me. I thought I was the one that was like, you know what I'm saying? Coach Chucky said, nah, Q, I got that. That's me. I was like, okay, Coach Chuck, you got that, fam. You got it. But he wants to burn the house down. Burn the house down. And the Saints got the man with the lighter fluid and a pocket full of matches up in the black and gold building helping out. He ain't talking to nobody else. That's what I was saying about, there's much more to it. Now, he said this is supposed to happen in October, and nobody really wants to talk about it. I'm like, But if it really was something with everybody else, there's somebody that's not scared of John Gruden, and that's the Saints. And he said he wants to coach again. He wants to get back in the league. The Saints are not, scared of John Gruden, despite what a lot of people believe. He's been here twice. He's been here in a coaching capacity and an advisory role, So all of this is very interesting, and this could possibly lead to Roger Goodell getting up out of here, because a lot of people he said it too, Gruden, and there was reports that Gruden pinpointed Goodell as the guy that leaked the emails that got him fired and got him because he canceled. Well, not everywhere, but he can't get a job on national television. He's toxic. Nobody won't touch him. The Saints are the only professional organization, it appears, that allow John Gruden to walk around and even wear its memorabilia. John Gruden, not only did not only was he a participant at the Saints. I didn't see what he looked like the first time he came in here because nobody did. He got in here and got out of here, and then the word got back later on the next day that he was in the building. This time around, people got pictures of him. Shout out to Jeff Duncan and several other reporter family members that were able to get pictures of Jon Gruden decked down in Saint gear. He had the Saint hat on, the Saint shirt on, and I think he had the Saint shorts on. He might have had the Saint underwear on too. You never know. But at the end of the day, you know, everybody's afraid of Jon Gruden, according to the guy we just played, except for the Saints. The Saints ain't afraid of him. Saints saying, you don't bring that goddamn guy up in here. No, they ain't do all of that. Gail's not afraid of him. The Saints are not afraid of him, which goes to show you that there's a potential, could be a potential opening for Jon Gruden and the Saints after all this is settled. So we'll see how it all goes, man. Like I said, it's more than meets the eye right here. It's more than meets the eye with the Jon Gruden and the New Orleans Saints, you know, I ain't gonna say fascination, but the connection between the two. Very, very interesting. Because if Jon Gruden, and listen, Goodell, we know Goodell's a liar. We know he's pine scum. We know that. I've been saying that for years. Goodell probably leaked those emails because he had something personal with Jon Gruden. We know he's petty. We know he's a petty dude. He's been petty to the Who Dat Nation for years. He would have hammered Alvin Kamara if Alvin Kamara would have went up there and kissed his ass. He probably would have hit him with 5 games, maybe 6. But Kamara went up there and explained, went up there and did what he did with Commissioner Goodell, talked to him, and then he dropped it to 3. We good with that. But if he had not done that and it played the regular way, Kamara would have been out 5 games. You know that. He always did that to the Saints people. We know he's petty. Ever since the Saints, Tom Benson, rest his soul, voted against Goodell to be a commissioner, Jerry Jones too, he's been at those organizations and showing obvious bias toward other organizations like the New England Patriots. You can have Kraft could be up in massage parlors and nothing happened to him. You have drunken owners like the guy from the Colts driving around and, you know, all this kind of craziness going on. They don't get hit as hard. But the reality at the end of the day is, like I said about Coach Chucky, he picked the wrong dude to mess with, man. He's saying no amount of money, according to what the reporter's saying, is going to deal with what he, you know, that's going to appease him. He wants Goodell out of there, burning it all down. What stops it from burning the NFL down? If the owners are that scared, and the man said that they're really scared about what could potentially happen with Goodell. I mean, with the NFL. Well, not one person is bigger than the league. So could this mean we finally get rid of Roger Goodell and get a commissioner that actually has a spine and some personable traits that people like? Could we possibly get? I think this is the time. I think you get rid of Goodell, man, when this hits, and I think he'll be able to prove it. I think he might have a good case. We're gonna follow this, man, because this is very interesting. That's happening between the two, because they're saying they have access to all kind of emails with all kind of incriminating stuff on all these other people, but you just put the stuff out on Gruden. And then Goodell said that in the press that he did not leak the emails, but in litigation he did not say that. In litigation he said it to the press, I didn't have anything to do with that. Then in a lawsuit he doesn't deny it on paper. What does that tell you? That was pointed out as well. So it'll be interesting, man, see what happens going forward, man. Very interesting. That was a bombshell of an interview, fam. And shout out to my girl, man, Tuck Graff, for reminding me and asking me that Jon Gruden question, fam, because I would have missed that. Because I had it in my head. Boy, but you talk about bombshell. Who he gonna get a job from? He already got a man. Listen, if he's that toxic to the NFL in network television, but the Saints bring him in here and let him put on their shirt and hat and underwear and socks and everything. Shit, I thought he had on a pair of Saint shoes too when they came here. Just go here, take all this, go in the bathroom. You know, he's like, nah, we you know, just wear your camp QB stuff and, you know, we gonna be fine. No, he came in there and they decked him down in Saint gear to let you know this is you know, just optics. People say a lot, fam. People say a lot. It's a difference between what people say and what they do. Y'all know that. People could say a lot, but the optics, having Gruden in here and he's supposed to be toxic. You got an arsonist in here. The guy is an arsonist. You know, if you got an arsonist, you know the guy has a propensity to burn down stuff, and he playing with matches. He got all kind of, he got he got the stuff you pull on the charcoal. He got that in his back pocket, and his matches in his side pocket. And he walking in there, and he known to set fires, and you let that guy in the building and even let him. Nah, you know, the Saints are not afraid of Jon Gruden. They're not, because whatever he got don't hurt them. You see, all that's tied to other owners. So if the Saints see Gruden as he's a non-threat to them to let him walk around in there, these people actuary this stuff out. They think about it. They got a public relations department and all that. They're not afraid of Jon Gruden, and Gruden's not afraid of them. So it's interesting, man. That was a bombshell of an interview, man. This could mean the end of Roger Goodell. And I got an even bigger bombshell. I thought I was the president of the F. Goodell committee. I thought I was. I found out today, family, as of Saturday at 1:27 Central Time, that I found out that I am no longer the president of the F. the Goodell committee. That is Jon Gruden. I just found that out. Oh man, we don't get a phone call. We don't get an email around here. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's keep it going, man. All right. Slim says Goodell hates the Saints. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, it's time for him to get ghost, man. It's time for him to get on out. Let me get a couple of more questions from you guys, man. I'm sorry I had to play that. But yeah, I'm in a state of I'm just surprised right now, family. I am so surprised that I'm no longer the president of the F. Goodell committee. I didn't get any emails. Nobody called me. Nobody told me nothing. What kind of committee is this? What's going on here? I say Gomez says, how you feel about our special teams, namely our kicking game and punt return and downfield blocking? St. Gomer, man, you know what time it is, brother. Well, the kicking game, I'm feeling a lot more confident because both the kickers are looking real good. Even though I think Will Lutz wins the battle, I still think the Saints should still keep Blake Grupe as a practice squad kicker, because I think that'll be smart. We went through an issue with Will Lutz several years back where we had to go through this thing. When he got hurt, we had to go through a merry-go-round of free agent kickers who couldn't even hit extra points, bro. They were missing kicks from inside the 30-yard line. I'm like, what? There were games like the Tennessee Titan game. We should have won that game. We missed 2 kicks in that game. So you got a good kicker in Blake Grupe. I would practice squad him because Will Lutz a free agent after this anyway. We don't know what kind of money Will's going to want. But maybe this could be a move that's similar. And I ain't going to say it's like the Tommy Morstead move, because Tommy Morstead was on the back end of his punting career with the Saints, greatest punter in the history of all the, I would, in St. Louis, the greatest punter that ever was him. We had a lot of good ones, but Tommy Morstead is the first ballot Hall of Fame punter to me. But he handed it off to Blake Gillikin. And remember, the way the Saints kept Blake Gillikin on the team was when the season started, they had 2 punters. They had Morstead and Blake Gillikin. And people were like, hey, Q, why the Saints got 2 active punters? And then it switched. It actually changed where then people started to talk about, he got a mysterious injury. He being Blake Gillikin on the last year with, Morstead, Blake got a mysterious injury that required him to be put on the inactive list. And that's how the Saints were able to stash him for that whole year. Then the next year, Blake got the job. Grupe, this could be a similar situation, even though Will Lutz still have good kicking left in them years. But I would want to practice squad Blake Grupe too, just in case something happened with Will Lutz. We got a kicker that been here that's a solid kicker that we can just have there. We stash backup running backs, backup offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, DBs. Why not stash a backup kicker on the practice squad as well? You see. So I'm cool with the kicking. I'm cool with the punting. The return game is the thing. Now, the Saints covering punts and kicks are fine. They've never had a big issue with that. They're one of the tops in the game with that. The issue with the Saints, and that has been over the last several years, have been the Saints blocking on kick returns and punt returns. It has been pathetic to the point where I just really get frustrated, because that's an effort of the game that needs to improve, because that can lead to flipping of the field. That can have a set up on short fields. And how about it? Can we at least get 3 or 4 kick return or punt return touchdowns a year? I get tired of watching other people team returning kicks and punts for touchdowns. And we got to wait every 3 to 4 to 5 years to get a punt return or a kick return for touchdown. Because somebody in the chat, because I know y'all got this answer. Y'all the great Saint think tank. Y'all the smartest in the game. Because somebody put in there the last time the Saints had a kick return or a punt return for a touchdown. I guarantee you it is at least 3 years that we had one. You know, y'all put in the chat and let me know, when was the last time the Saints special teams had a kick return or a punt return for a touchdown? Put it in the chat. You got to wait. You got to wait at least 2 to 3, 4 years every time you get a punt return or a kick return for a touchdown. That's how that go. That shouldn't have to be the case. But everything else I'm good on is St. Goma. But man, you definitely a listener of the broadcast, bro. You be on your game because you know how I feel about that aspect of it. All right. So anyway, DB says, now Q, do you think Goodell was too scared to give Kamara more? Well, I think he would have gave him more if he wouldn't have went up there. I'm gonna be honest with you, because he's an ego-driven person. He operates out of the ego, which you're not supposed to do. The ego is actually the destruction of you. It's the disconnect between you and the cosmic force or God force. That's why you're supposed to do humbling things physically to temper that ego down. Like when you do fasting and you do prayer and all this kind of stuff, it's an attempt to wrangle that ego down, because the ego gets too big. It cuts off your connection between you and the God force. In your mind anyway, you're always connected to it, just like power flows around you, just like in your house or your apartment. Power is flowing around you. They're in the sockets, but you can't access it unless you get the plug and plug it into that. If you stick your finger in there, you know what time it is. You're going to get the power all right, but it ain't going to be in the way that you want it. But it's a way to harness said power. And that's what I'm saying about the ego. So when you operate out of the ego, that cuts it off. And whatever success you get out of the ego is short term, because it doesn't have the ability to be able to have long-term success, because it's not connected to a long-term success power that can drive you a lot further, even beyond your time here. Sorry to get on that metaphysical spiel, but what I'm saying is I could see a ego-driven person like Goodell going, and Elvin went up there and talked to him. Now, had Elvin not talked to him, he wouldn't have gotten 3 games. He would have got at least 5, and y'all know that, because the history says the New Orleans Saints, he always hammers our players more than others. And that's just my thing, man, when I seen that. All right, so shout out. What's up, Teal? Shout out to my homeboy, Teal, man. Much love to that brother, man. All right. Yeah, that was very powerful, man. That's a very powerful thing there. Shout out to my brother Scoob right here, man, for the super chat. He says, Q, if the chump should be banned from the NFL at the hands of the Saints associate, the irony would be so sweet. Yes, bro. Yes, you the man next to the president. All right. Hey, bro, listen. Hey, man, bro, listen. Listen, let me hit my right button here for the cash button here. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, boy.
All right, Scoob. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, man. Listen, for him to get his comeuppance, to get the axe, and it's Gruden who's connected to the Saints. Yes, sir. You know what? That's beyond irony, bro. That is justice. Yes, that's justice, brother. For Gruden, because listen, Gruden's definitely going to work with the Saints. I've been saying that for a while. The optics to me and the energy there, they're not afraid of him, or whatever's been going on with him. They're not afraid of him. For you to bring him in there, they're not afraid of none of that. All these other teams don't want Gruden around there. The Saints have him, like I said, decked down in Saint gear. So that's interesting. But for Goodell to meet his end at the hands of Gruden, who's connected to the Saints, that's beyond irony, brother. That's justice. Yes, justice. That's what that is, man. Shout out to you, School. Appreciate you, man, for giving that super chat, man. Much love, brother. All right, anyway, shout out to the rest of y'all. King Chosen One, brother Philip, I see you, fam. Appreciate y'all. Come on. Is it 1998? No. KK says it's been 4 years. All right, Taylor says Devontae Harris versus Seattle. How long ago was that? Was that 4 years ago? Smoke says 2019 against are you serious? Has it been that long since we had a kick return or a punt return for a touchdown? Has it been that long? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That is not right, man. So that's what I'm saying. That's extremely wrong. Not your comment, but I'm saying in terms of how they're not looking at it like that. Like, my thing is, like, if I'm a special teams coordinator, my ultimate success on returning punts and kicks when we do this is to look at how good are we doing this? Obviously, this is not a factor in the mind of Darren Rizzi. That's why I said Darren Rizzi got to go. We need a guy that's going to come in here, practice the fundamentals, and above all, put in these people's head when they kick return and the punt return, we want touchdowns. That helps us win. That's one less touchdown our offense has to put up if the special teams have, which has the ability to score, not just field goals, but I'm saying in terms of if they can score touchdowns through kick return and punt return game, why not have that? Why we got to wait 3 to 4 plus years to get a kick return or a punt return for a touchdown? That's abnormal, man. That's abnormal. How often you guys see other teams in the NFL and they show the highlights on ESPN or NFL channel where the guys they get the ball, they return to a touchdown? I'm sitting up here looking, why the Saints can't do that, man? Why we can't do that? Why isn't that not a focus or a point of emphasis when we talking about kick return, punt return? The most ultimate thing you can get outside to hitting the field goal on the opposite end is getting a return for a touchdown. You know, you flip the field, get better a yardage for your offense to set up around the 40-yard line, or maybe perhaps you return the thing to the other side, even shorter field, or the greatest thing you could do is get a touchdown from a kick return and punt return. Why we got to wait 3 to 4 years to get punt return and kick returns, man? We not good at that. Why isn't this guy focusing on that? And why don't people ask Rizzi? I'm going to have to see if I can get him on here, man. He probably ain't going to pop up here because I ain't going to sugarcoat the questions, man. We want touchdowns any way we can get them, not just from the offense and from the defense, but we talk about the special teams have the ability to score touchdowns through the punt return, kick return game. Why aren't they doing it? Why are we got to wait 4 or 5 years to get one kick return or punt return for a touchdown? That's ridiculous, man. That's not good at all. All right, anyway, shout out to the fam, man. Sydney said, what's up, Sydney? Says, Big Q, are you going to be like, nah, Coach Chucky wanted, man. He got it, man. Coach Chucky got the lawsuit. Because listen, he said something, man, that I agree with. He wants to burn down the house. And really, I don't think it's the NFL because the guy was saying that, but that's not about you burning down the NFL. And then you talking about you want to coach again. How you going to burn down the house and then go inside of it and cook? It don't work like that. This is aimed at Roger Goodell. He want Roger Goodell gone. So if the NFL says we getting Goodell out of there, I think that would be more appeasing to him because Roger Goodell is a liar. He lied about all that. So we're going to see exactly what the hell going on with that, man. So anyway, I would definitely, I'll take a step back, let Coach Chucky operate that, man. We good. Brother Bishop, how you doing? Say, Sir Q, you right, Q, straight up. Yeah, man, it's interesting to say the least, man, of what we got going on, man. But thank you, Bishop, bro. Shout out for Brother Bishop with the super chat, sir. Thank you, man, for the super chat, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, boy.
All right. Appreciate you, sir, for that, man, as well, man. Appreciate my boy Scoob. And thank y'all, man, for y'all financial contributions to the platform. You know how we doing it, fam. You know how we be doing it. We billing the WhoDatDaily.com and all this beautiful stuff we got going on, the ProTV1.com and all of the positive stuff. And a lot of our family members that's a part of the Who Dat Nation United. Shout out to my boy Randolph from the Keep It Real Who Dat podcast, my dog Teal from the Nola Bros podcast, and my dog Hoodie Jube from the Hoodie Jube podcast on YouTube. Y'all feel free to subscribe to these brothers. They represent every Thursday on Who Dat Nation United, baby. Well, all of us coming together to make it pop. So shout out to the fam, man. All right, hey, here's Randolph. Shout out to you, my boy. Good to see you there, man. Together we move as one, brother. That's what it's all about, man. That's what we do. All right, we are forced unto themselves, man. You know, they can't deal with one of us, but to deal with all of us at the same time, it ain't gonna happen, baby. It ain't gonna work. All right, so anyway, JLJ 504 HD said he went to all right, shout out to the fam. He getting that good eating. That's what happened. Got old Gruden stuck down. He eating good, huh? Yeah, the Grudenator, huh? He said will be our next coach. And DA gets fired. I don't think Dennis Allen gets fired, man. I don't think you lose it. If it goes like that, DA will have to lose games for him to get out of here. That's the only way they're gonna fire him. If he keeps losing and the pressure mounts, he'll get fired. I don't think Dennis Allen gets fired. I think the Saints will win. I think the Saints will win. They will win and they will go. But the thing is this: if Pete Carmichael's job is in jeopardy, you know, when John Gruden gets involved, because John Gruden, if he comes on, John Gruden comes on as, at first, like when his lawsuit settled, John Gruden comes in as an assistant. Same way Dennis Allen came in. Y'all remember several years back when Sean Payton introduced Dennis Allen back to the team. He was a defensive assistant working underneath Rob Ryan. And I said it then when they brought him back, I said they're going to move Rob Ryan up out of here. And I think a year or so later, Rob Ryan was fired and Dennis Allen was the defensive coordinator. Same stuff. But they won't fire Pete Carmichael because Pete Carmichael's a meek dude who will take a demotion to stay with the Saints, or he goes to Peyton. If the Saints demote Pete Carmichael, two things happen. He'll take the demotion and work underneath a guy like Coach Chucky, or if they hire him, I'm saying this is all, speculative, but if Gruden gets hired as an offensive assistant, eventually he's going to be promoted to an offensive. He's the most, this guy is like a very accomplished coach. He's a Super Bowl coach. He knows them offense and stuff like that. And a lot of family members don't like, what happened with him, but the Saints are obviously not afraid of him. They brought him in. And like I told you, if family members felt that bad about John Gruden, they should have, like the day after they found out that Gruden was here, we should all went down there and stood up in front of that building and said, "Don't you bring that damn man back here." That didn't happen. The Saints say, "Oh, well, look, they dipped the toe in the water, found out the water was lukewarm and good for swimming. And when that happened, they brought him back for additional days." I tell you, that's how they do it. They test everything before. They brought him in, snuck him out. And then the next time he came, he stayed for 3 days and he was in here and nobody did nothing about it. So the Saints are continuing on. They're continuing on. Nobody did. It wasn't enough. I don't know if anybody was down there. I don't think it was enough to make a difference. But none of that happened where it was supposed to be something where we don't want him here, whatever the case may have been. None of that happened. So the Saints just kept it pushing. So it went from 1 day to 3 days and him decked down in Saint gear. But anyway, that's what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, we look at it. Carmichael would take a demotion because he didn't want the offensive job in the first place. Remember when Dennis Allen first came on, Dennis Allen had to go and do interviews to find offensive coaches. Then Pete Carmichael, after about a month or so, I want to say about 3 weeks to a month worth of, maybe it wasn't even that long, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I'm thinking, of doing offensive coordinator interviews, because they were interviewing wide receiver coaches, they were interviewing running back coaches, and they were trying to figure out, which one. And then Pete Carmichael said, "I'll take the job," and then he's had it ever since. So, and remember, originally he wanted to be an assistant in the offensive room. He didn't want to be the OC. So if that happened with Gruden, just all speculation, you can see Pete Carmichael demoting him, taking a demotion to work underneath a guy like John Gruden, or him going to Denver to go and be up under Sean Payton. Either one I could see happening for Carmichael, but I don't think Dennis Allen gets fired to keep it funky with you. All right. Randolph saying the Bleach Report is reporting that the Saints released him. I was talking up here, Randolph, and let me tell you, man, I just had I just got a notification. Give me a second, bro. Let me see if I can pull this up, man. This is very disconcerting, man. Because we getting several different stories, and the story is constantly developing. We covered it early in the broadcast that he got Jimmy Graham was arrested. When was it? Friday night, and then there was an update saying that he experienced likely a seizure and was checked out at the hospital, and he's fine now. So, and now you're saying, let me see if I could pull that up, bro. Because hold on, give me a second, Randolph. All right, give me a second, fam. Let me see if I could pull that up. Give me a second. Bleacher Report is saying that. All right. Put it in the chat, Randolph. Okay, I see it. Yeah, okay, I see it. Arrest system. No, he's saying not released from the team. Is it saying released from the hospital? Hold on. Yeah. All right, hold on, fam. Hold on. Because I don't, Saints release Graham's update. They're not releasing them. Is that what did you misread it, Randolph? I don't think they mean released them. I think they mean released them from the hospital. Or what they're saying is, according to, because I'm looking at it, I think what it's saying is it's saying Saints release Graham update. So it's the dude put it out there very deceptively, like the Saints release Graham update. No, they released his update about his hospital situation. So I don't think they released him. Yeah. He was released from the hospital. I think it is very, I know it's very, hold on, let me put it on screen because it's very, the way the guy got it, he kind of, it's tricky. So you got to watch some of these guys. Hold on, let me share it with you because it can trick you. Look, watch this. You see it here? It is right here. Look, Saints release Graham update. See how tricky that is? That's very tricky. But then when you click it, the article turned into another one, which means that's some shenanigans. You see it now. It becomes Saints confirm Jimmy Graham arrest, says doctor believes tight end likely suffer. That's a hell of a difference between Jimmy Graham, Saints release Graham update. Tricky. Yeah, that's very tricky, bro. But anyway, yeah, man. But anyway, Jimmy, just to update some of the family members, man, that we talking here about Jimmy Graham, that it was a report done by TMZ, and that's also one that's on whothatdaily.com. But it was a report done by TMZ that's saying, hold on, let me get that report up too, because it was their top report. Now it's something about Billy Porter up there. Hold on here, let me see. All right, here we go. All right, and it's saying this is the report that was originally thrown at us here by TMZ. They're the ones reporting on it. That team says tight end suffered medical episode. Now they updated this as soon as we went live. You can see it when they did it right here, 9:59 a.m. Right when we were here, they started to talk about this Saints, and they said the Saints released in them. Prior to that, they were talking about Jimmy Graham, NFL comeback, hit a roadblock. Saints tight end was arrested on suspicion of being under the influence of a controlled substance Friday night. That's the old mention. And then the new report came out, or the new update rather. The Saints just addressed Graham's arrest, saying the tight end experienced a medical episode Friday night, which resulted in him becoming disorientated. After he was taken into custody, the team says Graham was sent to a nearby hospital to get checked out. The Saints added Graham likely suffered a seizure and spent the night in the medical facility to receive further testing. He's now back with the team. We broke the story. Graham was arrested for suspicion of being under the influence of a controlled substance and resisting and delaying and obstructing a police officer. And they're saying that information about him resisting arrest, they were quick to say that that's what they got from the police officer. That's what the police told them. So that's what we got from them. So they automatically kind of changed that whole little story around there. So we covered that. So, Jimmy's good. He had the medical episode. He was checked out at the hospital. He's good. He's back with the team, according to the report. So that is behind us. So, when the game happens, we talk about the update. Brother Kyle T. Mosley, the Saints News Network, did pop on and say that the game is still on. So shout out to Brother Kyle for popping by and kind of dropping some game with us on that, man. So much love to him on that. So thank you for kind of updating on that. Yeah, and DC, he's texting me from the island. They're saying Jimmy had a seizure. Dr. Amos. Okay, so Jimmy had the medical episode. Shout out to my dog DC as well. Y'all be looking out for the Pelican Post Game Report. We'll be doing the show tomorrow on the Pelican Post Game Report. I think tomorrow, y'all be looking out. Tomorrow morning sometimes we'll be kind of covering the latest Pelican stuff again. I know it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since we did a show. But we'll be back on that tomorrow. So shout out to my boy DC as well for kind of throwing that. But yeah, Dr. Amos saying that it's a medical, that it's a seizure. So I would not play him if the game is going on. And Brother Kyle said the game is still on. I would not play him in the game. I will play it on the side of caution. Y'all know and I think that's the best bet to kind of operate with. If they decide to move it, or depending on what the timeline is, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, we talked about that, and of course, we kind of delved into what turned into be a hell of a article by we're actually interview by shout out to Rich Eisen with the interview from the Insider that was dropping some game on this whole thing with Coach Chucky. Man, listen, that was really kind of crazy, man. How that all kind of happen. You know what he's talking about, and like he said, it's supposed to happen a couple of months from now, and we'll see how it all things, because this could be big, man. I won't. And listen, I ain't got nothing against. Well, I do have something against Goodell, and I just think Goodell, they're better people for that job out there, and I think they were sticking with him because they get paid with him. A lot of people don't like him. He's up there. He's constantly getting booed because people recognize when they got a jerk up there, and we know the guy's a jerk. We know he's fake. You know, we know he's a fraud, not fraud. I mean, not his business sense, but in terms of his personal skills, he needs a lot of work. He's far from Paul Tagliabue, who's a personable guy that people like and they can kind of talk to and stuff like that. And what he did and lied on Gruden. If this is indeed the case, I'm gonna be monitoring the hell out of that. So, yeah, but they're saying he's fine for Jimmy Graham, fam. So a lot of family members sending out their prayers. Yeah, me too, fam. You know, seizures ain't nothing to play with, man. Especially nowadays, man, with all the craziness that's going on, man. You know, send them prayers up to Jimmy, man, and his family, man. Telling you. All right. Anyway, and then of course we kind of played some of the highlights from the. There go some of the Who-Dats down in San Diego during the training camp, watching some of the highlights happen. Derek Carr and all the family members. There was some really good back and forth that was given with the Saints against the Chargers. You know, we seen some plays when we was getting them. We seen Michael Thomas cook them on a play on a deep pass. We seen Chris Olave make some plays. We seen some good running there as well, as Mike was getting his shine on, and he looks real good out there. So it was a lot of positive stuff that was shaking in the Saints practice that were very, you know, that it was intriguing. And I like these scrimmages because you can see a lot. You see us going against their guys. And listen, the Chargers are, you know, they look pretty good, man. You know, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, those guys supposed to be healthy this year. So we'll see if they can kind of raise hell from the Chargers. Good thing we don't see them much. But yeah, this is going to be, they have a good little team out there, man. And the Saints were able to scrimmage against this team and get their shine on against them in many of these games. You can see from the good catch right there, a little back shoulder action right there toward the sideline. And it was just cool, man, seeing the Saints get out there in some good weather, man. I heard the interviews from Cam and Dennis Allen. DA was talking about what he's seen from them. But yeah, it was a little back and forth, but I want to say we got the little better of them than us, but I've seen some stuff. So as much love and respect. We'd love to see this game happen in a safe way. And of course, then we went into it and covered Dan Orlovsky's commentary on who he believes are the top 5 teams in top 5 Super Bowl sleepers is what he referenced to them as. And yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, Scoob. I gave it to KK. Okay. Oh, my bad, Scoob. Scoob sent me a super chat. I just wanted to give him send it back to him, my brother. I want to make sure I give the proper credit. So shout out to Scoob, man, with the super chat. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, boy.
All right. So anyway, you see his list right there. Saints are listed as number 2 on Dan Orlovsky's sneaky Super Bowl threats. So, and this is nothing new. He's been talking real high about the Saints this entire offseason. Rich Eisen's mentioned as an interview I could have played, but Rich Eisen, I won't play too much, but Rich Eisen's talking about them there as well. I wanted to play this crazy interview. If you guys, y'all put one in the chat, if not, fam, then I'll keep it pushing. But I wanted to play, if y'all would allow me to play this interview. I wanted to, if I could find it, I wanted to play this crazy interview from what's the guy, the former Ram quarterback. What's his name, fam? What's his name? From the Rams, the greatest show on turf. What was the quote? Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner had this crazy ass prediction. He was talking, I forgot who he was talking to, but he picked the Bucks. He picked the damn Buccaneers as the top team to beat in the NFC South. And I was like, this guy is losing it. But anyway, let me see if I can kind of gear it up so we can, let me see if I can find, give me a second. I don't know if I can find it, man, but Hold on. Let me see if I can find the damn thing. But hold on. I think it was either him or no, actually it was the guy. I think it was hold on, let me see if I can find it. Baker Mayfield and all these fools. Give me a second. Let me see. It was Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner's thoughts on the Bucks being the team to beat. Let me play this for you guys. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear this sound, and then we'll bust out on that.
So the Bucks lost Russell Gage for the season.
I saw that.
Not great. Everything he says is like, wow, very regal,
Hypercent, focus, committed. Talk about.
Oh, you was you can have alcohol in the darkness retreat.
Gin. Is that one of the rules of
for the next story? It sounds like Baker Mayfield was so impressive in preseason game 1. He's going to be the starter. And Kurt Warner, remember that guy?
Shout out.
Believes Baker could be a great thing for the offense. Baker's one of those QBs that you keep him in his wheelhouse. He can be a good quarterback. He has good instincts. He has that big arm. He can push the ball down the field. And just watching the preseason game, look like the Bucks are trying to establish the run. They want to be that kind of team. So I think Baker can really thrive in that system.
He's not accurate anymore. And it just comes down to that. Ball placement, not good.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers, ball placement, not good. Trey Lance, ball placement. Will Levis, ball placement. That's what Greg Cosell said 5 times. You got to put the ball right there. He hasn't in recent years.
So the Bucks lost Russell Gage for the season.
I saw that.
Not great.
Number 2, number 3 receiver, good player.
Well, Evans and Godwin are the 2.
So he's a 3 on that team.
Valuable. And then, we have a note here that Kurt Warner, who made all these comments, his son is currently trying to make the Bucks roster. Cade Warner. So, hyping up Baker Mayfield. He's looking good. So here's the image of Kurt Warner and his son
That's something.
in Tampa.
Well, that's not. That doesn't
you see the Kurt Warner?
That's something. Hey, you talking about the guy? Yeah, bro. Yeah, Kai said I dislike the person. His voice is really annoying to me. Yeah, bro, but it's just I will cut him off. But yeah, Kurt Warner beefing up the Buccaneers. Not even listen, Big Game James. Shout out to my homeboy Big Game James. Played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He has a Buccaneer podcast. He's a diehard. He don't think that he don't believe that, man. That the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, I guess to a degree, he's a realist. He'll say, man, listen, we're not equipped, to do what we gonna do. We wasn't serious. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't seriously try to fix the QB position, the most important position for this year. Why didn't they try to fix it? Bro, they passed on Hooker. They could have had Hooker there. That would have been a perfect pit. They've passed on Hooker. Detroit got him. So you got they passed on him, and we know the Buccaneers what they're doing here. They got a pass year because Tom Brady's gone, so they get allowed to stink the next year. So they're taking that so that they can get Williams from USC. We know what time it is. That's the only reason why you're bringing a Baker Mayfield, because really, if they really wanted to play better at the QB position, why not come at the Saints and say, hey, man, we'll give you a draft pick or something for Jameis Winston. If you or reach out to Jameis, during the offseason prior to the Saints signing him because they had time, kind of work with him, say, Jameis, want you to come home. They had a number of things they could have done to stay competitive that they opted to do against. And Kurt Warner comes in here and talk about all this stuff about Tampa Bay Buccaneers and all this stuff, and his son over there trying to make the team, and he's over here pumping them up so that they sign his son. What kind of crap is this? And see, Kurt, you're wrong for that, because you should let your son make it on his own merits. Let him make it on his own merits. Let him have his own let him make it on his own merits. Use the bag groceries in a grocery store and play on an arena football league. You came from the Iowa Barnstormers to the NFL and then into the Hall of Fame. You did that. There was nobody talking up for you. Let him make it on his own volition. You know, you don't need, let me pump him up some. It's too much this nepotism crap going on already. Let him make it on his own power, man. That's how don't cripple him. And plus, you sound dumb as hell out here talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Let me tell you something, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even though Tom Brady's not there, and you know all this stuff, they play in the NFC South, and then turns around, your son trying to make the team. Man, cut that out, brother. Let the man make it on his own strength, man. Crazy, man. Yeah. It is what it is. Fam Marvin says every Saint family just like, oh yeah, Goodell's are real. We don't like them, fam. Yeah, it's what it is, bro. Kurt Warner kissing up on him. Look at him, got the Tampa Bay shirt on. That's what it is. But anyway, fam, thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to play that for y'all, man. Listen, I thank all of you guys for tuning in this episode of the show. I went a little longer than what I wanted to, but it's always fun to talk to you guys, especially on a Saturday, man. Like, a Saturday during the day. Yeah, you're right, Marvin. He says Kurt Warner always hate the Saints since week 4. Oh yeah, we broke him up, man. We took care of Kurt on the way to Brett Favre and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we kind of tore him up pretty bad. But that was a very bad take, Kurt Warner. Shout out to Abraham. How you doing, fam? Appreciate you for being here, man. All right, so with that being said, fam, do me a service. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. Remember, sharing is caring. 190 plus of us in the building. If you're not a subscriber, please feel free to join the stream by subscription. Now, the game's supposed to be tomorrow. We'll pop up here tomorrow. We'll do a play-by-play on the game and recap as well. Pelican post-game report from our New Orleans Pelican people will be tomorrow, Sunday morning, some which y'all be looking out for the notifications. Please feel free to go to thewhodatdaily.com. That's www.thewhodatdaily.com. Link should be in the description section below. Feel free to go there, share the articles that is our writers. They're covering professional football, basketball, boxing, all that stuff at thewhodatdaily.com. We are a movement. Move with us. Shout out to all our family members who join our the movement via patreon.com/New Orleans. /the PRO Media Network, link in the description section, and on YouTube members as well. We moving towards something, doing a lot of positive stuff, and we improving and doing it. Shout out to our family members for the Who Dat Nation United, man. We in this thing as well. So with that being said, I'm get out on that. Much love. Sharing. That's right. That's right, Scoob. Sharing is caring. You got to get that. DC is famous for that one. I get that to my dog. DC, sharing is caring. That's right. He had the coma, baby. All right, so I'm gonna holler at y'all on the flip side, man. Much love to the fam. Who dat?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this and I'm a who dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like this and I'm a who dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say Sports.com store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.